we celebrate our Italian heritage, of course, and our community's Italian heritage with St. Joseph's Day, tomorrow it is a reminder of the contribution this community has made to our culture here, especially New Orleans jazz. Ashley Richard shares the story of a New Orleans drummer who, after more than 50 years, is still ready for the next beat.
Drummer Paul Ferrara, a member of the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, was born in the French Quarter. Throughout his over half-century career, he's played with such New Orleans jazz legends as Louis Prima and Al Hirt. Ferrara knew he wanted to be a drummer early on, but he couldn't play in the school band because they didn't have a drum. One day, on his way to school, he found a barrel on a street curb. His problem was solved.
I said, Miss Tisdale, look, I got a drum now. Okay, so I put it on a chair like that. That was the band's, the stands, they had chairs. And I got a pair of drumsticks, I don't recall where, and that's how I got in the school band.
A chance meeting with Al Hirt in a music store led him to regular gigs.
And he said, hey Paul, you want to play some cocktail parties for Seymour Weiss at the Roosevelt? I said, yeah, man. I said, how you getting there? He said, I'll meet you in the alley. They got an alley. You find it, and I'll show you how to get up there with your drums. I said, but I don't have no car, man. I have to get on a bus. And I used to do that sometimes, get on a bus with the drums. And he says, don't worry about it. Give me your address. I'll come get you.
But the band leader whom he would work with for several years was Louis Prima. Their first encounter was while Ferrara was playing at a Bourbon Street nightclub.
Louis came in the famous store. He talked to the owner, Hip Ginley, an old-timer, and he asked Hip, I need that boy playing drums. I was 18.
Ferrara recorded over 30 songs with Prima. His touch can be heard in one of Prima's most famous tunes.
He said, hey boys, let's see what we can do with this tune, Old Black Magic. So everybody come contribute this, that. I don't like that, this. I said, why don't we start it with like a jazz mambo beat? The ding, 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 ding. Hey, that's good, boy. Keep that in. That's how we're going to do it. And that was part of the things that told the tune.
Ferrara follows in the footsteps of other Italian-American musicians who have been part of the evolution of New Orleans jazz. He's played with Sharky Bonanno and Santo Pecora and has his own special place in the history of this New Orleans-born music style.
The first and second generation musicians are the ones that were on the early jazz records, the ones born in the late 1880s, early 1890s, up to about a little bit after 1900. They were the first generation that made all the famous records in the teens and the 20s and the early 30s. And then when they had this revival, which we call the New Orleans revivals, they ended up having a second, a second hurrah. And while they were doing that, the bands became a combination of the older musicians and the younger musicians. And so Paul Ferrara is a perfect example of that because he was in Santo Pecora's band, and Santo Pecora played with the New Orleans Rhythm Kings in the 20s.
And what good fortune landed him on stage with Ella Fitzgerald?
We're playing at the Carter Barron Theater in Washington, D.C. And our drummer didn't show up, so I played. That was a dear friend. One time I went to see her at the Blue Room. She said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a wonderful drummer. He played my show a couple of times, and his name is Paul, but I always have trouble with his Italian last name.
While playing with Louis Prima in Lake Tahoe, Ferrara met old Blue Eyes himself.
I had enough the night before, and I had a headache. Sam said, here comes Frank. I said, Frank who? Frank Sinatra. I said, well, take a drink and be off. I said, man, I don't want no drink. I'm suffering. So, hi, Sam. Hi, Frank. Drink? Beer? Hi, kid. Drink? No, thank you, Frank. I don't care for anything. I said, I'll get a soft drink here. He went over there to the serving area on the bar where the waitresses go. He had a Jack Daniels. And he walked back over. And he looked in my eyes and he said, "What's the matter, kid? You don't want to drink with me?"
Ferrara continues to play around town and even appeared at the New Orleans Jazz Fest. Here he is at a recent performance at the Ogden Museum.
This is what I want to do. This is how I want to go out playing. So if anybody thinks 72 is too old, they're wrong. I play better now than I played in my life.
What a dear man. A descendant of Sicilian immigrants, Ferrara will join the Italian-American Marching Club tomorrow as honorary Grand Marshal in their St. Joseph's Day Parade. It starts at 6 p.m. in the quarter and then ends at Poydras Street and Convention Center Boulevard. What a sweet, sweet man. We really appreciate him being a part of what